Greetings, Goddess Body Mind Spirit community. This is Tirra-7, your goddess guru, your sister friend. And y'all know I love helping women align with their life purpose using the power of ancient wisdom and the goddess centered lifestyle. And yeah, we are here this morning for a great time. How's everybody doing? My apologies for being late. But I'm glad to see so many people here. Wow. Good morning to all of the goddesses. Hello, Mystic Storm. How are you? Peace and love to the goddess Eileen. Welcome. Buenos dias to Paulette. Welcome. Saludos. How are you? Good morning to the Queen, Azizi. So very happy to see you all here. And it's lovely to see you all here connecting with one another. Yes, let's get yourself something. I'm drinking out of my rock star cup. Some of my friends they've helped me learn how to be, really good with coming on with the microphone and, just getting better and better at my game when it comes to communicating with you all. So I'm thinking about this Leo full moon a lot. And I decided to pull out my Rockstar mug. So glad to be here. How am I doing? Yes, I'll have to let y'all know. I can tell I'm still just a little bit off. I'm trying to find the music right now to take it down just a little bit. Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to have a chat. We're here in community. I have accepted that, I'm about community. I'm about us coming together and talking as a way of just reaching back and grabbing onto the traditions of our ancestors that are timeless. And one of them is women coming together and talking and supporting one another and doing ritual work and helping one another, strengthen our gifts and our talents, especially in the spiritual arts. I'm all about the spiritual arts. I am excited to be here and just have a brief discussion about the importance of us continuing to really take care of ourselves, which I am the chief example of that today. I'll talk about how I'm feeling and just a few things that came to me and, my path forward from here. Um, I do want to talk a little bit about the other thing that is important. I just have accepted. I don't care where anything comes from. I no longer, like, yesterday did really help me to say I'm going to just show up and do what I do, and people can love it or they can go find, someone else who's better for them. But I believe in using ancient traditions from Africa. Number one, y'all know I'm always going to Africa. I believe in using ancient traditions that are from, feminine matriarchal traditions. But really and truly, if it works, it just works. And so the one that I really want to emphasize today, well, not emphasize, but also include is when we think about what contributions the Buddhists have made, mindfulness, baby, comes from these practices that the Buddhists do. We don't have to go to the Buddhist temples, the monks or nothing. We have it so that we can make it fit ourselves. And y'all know I love this book. Oh, shoot. Thank you. Y'all know I love this book, Secrets of the Yoga Sutra, because what we have been talking about is what's going on with our minds, that this is something that is extremely important, and nothing has been highlighted for me, regarding all the things that I study and then share with you all and teach. Then what is going on up here is going to dictate so much. So we're going to do a brief mindfulness practice, and we're going to just let spirit lead, guide, and direct us. But I am going to look at the astrology a little bit because I haven't done that for y'all this week because I was at the the emergency room on Tuesday, so I didn't get a lot done. So let me just see who else is here. I just want to make sure I acknowledge all of the sisters. Y'all, I just want y'all to know, yay. Yes, grab yourself coffee, tea, whatever it is, water if you want. Let's just all sit around and just have a good time. I need to make sure I speak to everybody. Y'all know I'm very much about like, let us be decent and in order. Greetings to the goddess Latasha. So glad you are here. Good morning to Natasha. And the goddess Sharmika J is in the crib. What's up? The goddess Virgo Bliss. Hey, Bliss, how are you? They are very high. They are very high. And I actually might bring up, because we're still in the full moon energy today, I'm going to bring up my, I think I might even have the slides in here. I just want to see, what did I talk about? Because let me tell y'all, when I ended up in that emergency room on Tuesday, I was just like, I knew this full moon was going to be something else, but I wasn't expecting this. Yes, good morning. Good morning, G. How are you, goddess? Welcome, welcome. Wait a minute. Latoya. Good morning, Latoya. See, I almost got confused because I think I got a Latasha up here. And then there's a Latoya. Yes, okay. Hello to the goddess Latoya. Yes, I am feeling better. I really am. I will tell y'all all the details. Thank you, Azizi. You look wonderful too. I have been watching Azizi for a while. Yeah, well, Azizi and I are connected. Now I'm not just like watching Azizi. Like Azizi and I know each other. And I was just so proud when I saw Azizi, who is a 50 pluser, post on her Facebook a little picture, or not a little picture, but a picture of herself posing in her bathing suit. I'm like, see, this is what we do when we 50. Okay. And of course, the 60 plus sisters, you are welcome to join in too. But I'm just like really proud of you, Azizi. Azizi is the one that I went to. We went and got our NLP certification together. Hello, Queen Marat Rogers. Strength and light. How are you? Peace, love, power. Grand rising. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So, let me say this now because I want to make sure I don't forget to do this. But you all know that right now I have dug deep into my destiny of bringing women together and finding ways to make sure that I bring in medicine from the ancient ways and help to make sure you stay on the straight and narrow towards your goals, your destiny, that you stay on track. Even when times are hard, it's so good to be able to stay on track and be able to bring yourself back so that we don't spiral down. We only want to spiral up. And so I am going to just remind you all that I have, here we go, that I have an upcoming retreat to reset. That's the part I really want y'all to focus on. It's a mini retreat. I have these monthly, it's a new moon opportunity for you to come in and reset yourself, to release the previous lunar cycle and then step into the new lunar cycle where you have gotten yourself grounded. You've allowed yourself to be open to being fertile soil to receive whatever these intentions are that you desire for your life. And that you are able to come in community, because notice this, just when we come on together, typically it's Wednesday before our weekly meeting, this morning chat, how good we feel. It's a lot of things I think about. I get off, you all get off. We all feel so inspired. So that's what this retreat is. And I do more in the retreat than what you see here. Although this does give you a taste of what I do. But I just roll out the red carpet. Of course, I'm gonna have to roll out the red carpet for this one, okay? Because it's Leo royalty. All right. So yeah, these are things that shoots. My little desk is going up. that I these are opportunities that I'm creating. And one thing I love about this new moon that's coming up in Leo is the astrological spiritual new year. We all know, if I say astrological new year, we know that's Aries, okay? The astrological spiritual new year. And so it's a time to come and reset yourself spiritually. That's part of what I'll be working on. If you are scared to shine, which a lot of women have issues with, fear of shining, fear of standing out. But do you want to, do you want to align yourself with your destiny? Do you want to like achieve all this stuff? We have to be comfortable with shining. We have to be comfortable with, like, stepping into our royalty. Okay, which is Leo. So that's one thing that I am going to do. And what else did I want to tell you? Um, yeah, it's another thing to think about is a lot of women take care of everyone else, but this is an opportunity for you to come in and be held. And the thing about coming into these new moon retreats, these new moon women's circles, is you come in as you are. You don't have to come in and be all happy. You might come in like, I don't even know really what I need to focus on. I don't feel clarity. I don't feel happy. I don't feel good. But this is an opportunity for you to come in, or you can come in and feel great, because this is about inspiration. So these are the things that I want to be working on, helping us to shed the old, or at least get perspective, because sometimes things just can't be righted. It takes time sometimes to turn the ship. But how do we do these things? We come into the new moon retreat. And so if you look today, I actually have it in the description box. You can get it for $44. You get it $11 off. And look, this is what I want y'all to know. I've been thinking about it, and what I want y'all to do is don't buy the Leo masterclass that's there. I'm gonna put the Leo masterclass inside of the new moon retreat. That's just a bonus that's gonna come with it. I haven't changed it yet. It's just something that came to me in my sleep today. I was like, I'm gonna put that class as a bonus inside of the um the retreat. And I'll talk about that class later, but don't buy that class. It'll be a part of this. And of course, I always include hypnosis. Um Let me pull up also. Well, let me just go on ahead and talk about thank y'all. Let me just go on ahead and talk about what happened. Let me take a sip. Are y'all taking a sip? And while I do that, I need to pull up my little calendar. So I am constantly doing. Here we go. I haven't looked at it the other day, so I have it where I can pull it right up. Y'all know that I am all about like having morning routines and rituals, and I don't deviate from them because my thing is, number one, I don't want to be a hypocrite. And if I'm teaching people about spirituality, and I need to be doing it. That's one of the things y'all love about me. Y'all like, no, we can tell you actually doing the work. So that's important to me. Um, Also, when I do spiritual work for other people, I coach, all week long, actually. Um, Sometimes I'm doing readings for people. I can't do this work and not do my spiritual work, right? So, in my mind, I'm doing good, but I had noticed that I was starting to feel a little bit edgy, and like I can't figure out, like, it was like, okay, I'm doing, say for instance, I'm doing my tapping, I'm doing my energy medicine, I'm doing my journaling, but I was noticing I wasn't doing my mindfulness. And honestly, when I don't do mindfulness, I do feel off. I don't feel right. I feel edgy. So I was like, look, you've got to do your mindfulness every day. It's non-negotiable or whatever. Um, you know, so it's like this constant flow. But then honestly, I'm being 100. I am not the newest business owner, but I still am like, I'll say I'm like a toddler. And so it's a lot that it takes for me to figure out I'm being 100. How do I get people to understand what I'm doing so that I can do this the rest of my life? And this is the work that I do. This is how I show up in the world and serve people. It's like constantly always on my mind. Or sometimes if I'm working with somebody, they're really going through something. I was finding myself thinking about things in my sleep and waking up and just thinking about, you know, people who I'm helping, or, maybe it's something I've seen online and someone's struggling with something and I saw a post about it or whatever, and it's just like playing out in my mind. Um and then I knew that when I heard about the overturning of Roe v. Wade, that I didn't know that I was going to feel it so viscerally. And then hearing about just all these things that the United States Supreme Court is doing to make things unsafe for those of us in the United States. So if you grow up like me, I grew up with not feeling safe. So anything that's making me not feel safe is making me feel even more unsafe, or making me maybe feel more unsafe than somebody who didn't grow up with violence in the home. And so I think it was all kind of like subconscious. And I had noticed I was trying to do more of like purge my mind using my hypnosis. That's more about like clearing the clutter that's up there so that, my mind is fresh and I can have that perspective. And I just was feeling like it's a lot to do. I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to pull off this business. I don't know if I'm going to be able to I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. I just started feeling like I don't really know. And then it's like, do I even like what's should I plan? It feels like it's the apocalypse. Things don't feel safe. I want to go for a walk, but I'm scared. I live in Tennessee. People live. I see people at the grocery store carrying guns on their hips. Everybody is just like this fear reaction, this reaction of not everybody, but a lot of people. It's a lot of fear. And my human side, she just doesn't feel fully safe. Even now, I'm honest, I don't feel safe. Even though when I allow myself to retreat, I do my daily retreats for myself. I tell myself at the end of the day, I live according to the highest laws of the universe, and I trust the divine more than I trust anything or anybody on this planet. So I have that opportunity to shift myself into you know, like I have those moments where I'm like a complete peace, but right now it's a little bit of a battle. Um but I just have made a decision that I am going to just decide I'm living my life. If I go for a walk and I get shot, I don't care. Whatever. I'm not gonna let these people make me scared. I'm not gonna worry about anything that I don't have any control over. I get out and vote for people who would be for equality and equity for all. I don't know what else to do. I make donations to activist groups. I do my best to show up and bring light and love to the world. That's all I can do. I'm gonna live my life. I'm gonna be happy. These are the things that Tuesday made me say, you're gonna have to make a decision. You're gonna live in fear, or you're gonna go on ahead and trust what you say you believe in. Y'all know I say sometimes, why are we even doing this if we're not gonna live it? That's not me. I'm not one of the things that I know is a mandate from my life is I can't be a hypocrite. So I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. I had to just get reminded. Another thing that happens too, and it's something like I did business coaching for someone recently, and I was like, we get lost, we start just obsessing over our businesses, which you have to. Like, when a mom has a baby, there's all these hormones that get released in her body. It's just the way the divine created it. So she will bond with that baby. And so we have to create that for ourselves and our businesses. But At some point, it can go too far. And, so I'm just like, yeah, it's cool. Hold on, this is my husband. It's cool to, oh, I know what this is, I bet. We typically send each other a little morning message. Okay. Yes. Um, we, you have to find those ways to bond with our business. And so what has happened with me is I am so like obsessed with how do I have a business and what am I going to talk about on Thursday and how can I make my coaching program better? And it's just like constantly like what do I need to do to make this work? And um I'll think, okay, I'm gonna go walking in 5 minutes. And that 5 minutes turns into 2 hours. Or I'll say, I'm gonna go to sleep at 10 o'clock. And then the next thing I know, I'm up until 1 o'clock. And it's like I'm constantly working to figure out what do I need to do. I'm being honest with you all. This is when I talk about overworking, this is what I'm talking about. And it's one thing when you do those kinds of things and I feel the results are there, but it's not exactly the results that we think we're going to get from overworking on anything. It doesn't matter. You don't have to have a business. There's a lot of workaholics who work at their jobs. Um, and then we just find out, well, I did all of that, but like I don't have my health. And so I'm going to tell y'all this. So I had my Mars return. I'm gonna bring my chart up and show y'all. And I'm gonna look at the comments in a minute. Uh, I have my Mars return, so I think that this is a part of what happened. Um, where are we? Mhm. I try to make it so that this is easy when I pull it up. Extended chart selection. I like using whole signs, so it makes it easier. I'm gonna show y'all my chart without whole signs. So if I pull my chart out without whole signs, it's just like when I was new and learning astrology, I was like, I don't even know what to do with this. Like, um, my my Scorpio house has two, no, yeah, two, no, one, two, three houses in it. When you learn an astrology, that's too much. Even now, the only thing I care about is anything on one of these lines right here that lets me know something is going to be up. But otherwise, I'm not using that chart. Forget about it. So I like using whole signs. Oh, shoot, whole signs. And this is something I actually kind of feel like I want to um, start teaching about. I want to start doing workshops on. And that is Mars return. It's such an important planet. And these last two Mars returns for me have been traumatic. I remember when I first recognized the Mars return, um, I could tell that I was affected by it because my chart ruler is Scorpio. So whatever your first house is, what is the planet that rules that house? And for me, it is my sign is Scorpio, and what planet rules Scorpio? Mars. I go with the ancient rulers. The modern day rulers, they move too slow. You don't know nothing that's going on. Nothing's gonna happen in your life if you just going with Pluto. Pluto been in Capricorn for years. Okay. Like is it over a decade? Over a decade, okay? So, we wanna use planets that are moving because that's how we're gonna understand when is a change coming, when can I anticipate certain actions to happen or, what action should I take? And so, always go with Mars. You can include Pluto, but you need to use both at the least is my suggestion. So, I have a Mars return. You can see my Mars is here at 3 degrees, and, my Mars is at, Mars is in Taurus. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just talking away. Oh, thank y'all. Hey, Ocean Funke, how are you? Here we go, y'all. Okay. So I was telling y'all about everything and didn't realize I didn't have it up. So I use whole signs. I'll go back and show y'all like how my signs look janky. Hold on one second. That's right. I don't use it on this. Okay, I'm gonna leave this off and y'all send me messages if yes, thank you, Mystic Storm. I did not realize that. Greetings, learning. Good morning. Um, so here's the chart. So I have Mars is in Taurus. My Mars, my natal Mars, which is the black one, is in Taurus. And we can see Mars is here in um, Taurus now. So if your Mars is in Taurus, you know you're going to have a Mars return. And so for me, this is very important. But for anybody who's having a Mars return, it's a renewal of energy and it's a renewal of focus and drive. Oh my God, that I have gotten refocused. Oh my gosh. Mars is one of our planets of energy. And so like once your Mars gets, close to the Mars return, it's just like your birthday. When you have a solar return, your the sun like refuels fills up the tank of your sun, okay? And so now you drive, it's like you're driving. And how do you know you're getting on E? You're getting closer to your birthday. Well, anytime we have a return planet, the closer the planet gets to returning, you're on E. Your tank is on E. And we feel it with Mars because Mars is one of our planets of energy and drive and passion and focus. And so my Mars return happened. So if you want to know what happened the last time, this is how I love using astrology to do research and to understand how is this showing up in my life so that I can plan for the future. So when I went back and looked at it, we typically say Mars is going to return every 2 years, but this Mars return was sooner than 2 years because um, my Mars return happened after Mars had been retrograde. So it's been more of like 15, 18 months, something like that, that I'm having a Mars return. Yeah, it's like 18 months out instead of 2 years. So when I had my last Mars return, um, that is when I got COVID. And so when I went back and thought about all the things that happened after that, it was some lessons that I learned. It was some new things that began for me that totally put me on a different path. So for instance, I got COVID. It actually took a year for me to get healed up from it because I got it before vaccinations and everything. And so I was dealing with long haulers for a full year. It wasn't until the top of this year that I moved past it. So health and wellness, as well as overworking and looking at routines, my day-to-day routines. Something that I figured out was the less I worked, the more I felt like I was attracting clients into my sphere. Because when I was trying to recover from it, I couldn't work. I couldn't really do anything. And it was like I got all these requests for readings, which I was able to fulfill. And I was just like, huh, really? Other things that happened that are significant. And what I did the other day was I went back and I looked at what happened. That COVID shocked my body. I'm telling you, this I even had wondered, was like this the last bang of like, you better not forget. You better not forget what the lessons you learned from having COVID. And I struggled with my health. That this whole last time I've struggled. And I started doing different things in my business, which um, would stem from new people I was working with, like with email and coaching, which led me to start coaching. That's one thing that I launched. And so here, Mars in my seventh house is a house of coaching. So, it's like, okay, well, I need to be looking at coaching. And I have started doing some new things with that. But it's like, okay, That was something that happened. Full on launch into, because see, this is happening in my seventh house. The seventh house has to do with new beginnings. And so, because it happened in my seventh house, what new beginnings did I experience last year? I experienced new beginnings with my body. I went into menopause. And the reason I mentioned my body is because Mars rules my first house of body. I became an empty nester. My younger son went off to college. Um, I had some shifts with my husband because he's had to really focus on taking care of his dad. Excuse me, y'all. So he's been taking care of his dad a lot. I'll put it that way. Um, I shut down I had a membership. I was like, I can't do this anymore. It's too much work. I I don't know, just a whole bunch of stuff. So I took that time to look, but nothing stood out like health and wellness. Nothing stood out like health and wellness. And so I looked at what was Mars doing the day I had my return. And there's something else that's going on in my chart. That is, I have the South Node on my ascendant. And so the ascendant is the body. This is something that it's like you have to have courage to face it. That is Mars for real. You have to have courage to face when the South Node is in your first house, because this node will make you face a lot. Like, what do you need to let go of? It's like Oya is in your life for, a year and a half, easily a year and a half in your life. Like, what are you going to change? What are you releasing? What are you letting go? And you can't get away from it. And I knew that it was affecting me. Like, I have been kind of fearing, I have been fearing death. And I think I have kind of alluded to it. Some people have heard me actually talk about it. It's because these nodes, look at it, it's right there at my ascendant. And and I knew to face it consciously. That's the thing. I want us to have conscious astrology. I want us to use astrology in a way where we are understanding the impact of the transit in our lives. Okay. This is what I want us to do with astrology. And I'm going to tell y'all, the 2 days before I had my whatever this thing was, I call it my near death experience. It was rough. And so I was like, okay, I'm not being aware. I'm playing around with Mars. Like, don't play around with Mars. So this is why I have on red. I was gonna put on something else and I was like, no, I'm wearing red. Because it seems like when I wear red, which is Mars's color, I'm better. Like, it's like channeling, because this is conscious astrology where you're channeling the energy you're consciously channeling it. So I'm putting it in red. I'm making sure I light my candles at my Ogun pot. But the moon was here too on the day of my Mars return. And so it was a lot going on with my body. This first house has to do with the health. And the Mars return activated my sixth house of Aries because it rules Aries. I got my Chiron there, and Jupiter is very close to my Chiron. I have my Venus there, and Venus in Aries. I say this for me. I'll tell anyone who has this how to work with it, but it's a horrible placement. It's honestly not a good place for Venus, but we just have to learn to live with our transits. That's what I'll say. And so that got activated. Um, and so what ended up happening, oh, wait a minute. Taurus. Okay. So what ended up happening is all of what I have described to you all became a perfect storm for me to have an experience that I'm describing as a wake up experience. And okay, I told somebody, you there are these times when it's like, ooh, that feels like I saw my life flash before me because, maybe it's like a near miss and an accident. But never have I actually felt like, other than that dream that I've told y'all about, I never felt fear of dying. Um, but I woke up feeling normal. Like it was nothing out of the ordinary that had happened. But I guess, or yeah, I was like, I'm getting ready to snatch you. Because something was off in me that this could happen. Because I've never had anything like this happen before. Um, I There's certain things that kind of throw me off. And I remember the same thing happened when I had COVID. I I was so sick, but I just thought, well, I'm going through perimenopause, and so um, I'm just extra sensitive to everything. And I didn't even know I had COVID initially. My son had to test positive and then tell the rest of us, "Oh, I got COVID. So do y'all." So I was just thinking, I ate something. It was a bar, a Power Crunch bar. I eat these to help me avoid eating sugar. But I eat them in the morning time because they really do help cut my appetite. And I don't like eating fruit and stuff like that in the morning. I like eating either protein, fat. I'll eat veggies also, but I try to avoid carbs, is probably what I want to say. I don't like eating carbs for breakfast. And so I didn't eat it that morning. I ate some cashews and pumpkin seeds, and I had sat down and mapped out all of Mars. Like maybe 2 hours I spent mapping out my Mars return and what I plan on manifesting over the next 2 years. I was like, effing get yourself together. You're not taking good care of yourself. You need to focus. You need to take this seriously because, this is one of my chief planets. And so I had done all of that. And then I had to go teach and drive 45 minutes into Nashville. That's where the nonprofit is where I work for. And so um, I was like, oh, I haven't eaten enough. I'm going to go teach a dance class. I haven't eaten enough. So I ate the bar, and almost immediately I started feeling sleepy, which is not odd because of, when I was in perimenopause, I would get sleepy after I ate. So I ate, and I immediately started feeling extremely tired. I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a nap. Maybe, just like a little power nap. I got about 30 minutes before I need to leave. And then, it was like I set my timer for like 10 minutes, and then I just couldn't wake up. And so I was like, okay, woo. I was like, oh, I'm a little more sleepy than I thought. I didn't think I was this sleepy. I went to bed at a decent hour last night, but maybe. Um, so I set it for like another 5, 10 minutes. Time was ticking though. It was like 45 minutes away. I need to be leaving. So I was like, let me get myself up to move. And I was like, I feel like I've eaten something that I shouldn't have. Cause I ate breakfast too, which was, it's a weird breakfast, but turkey meatballs and sweet potato fries. I know. But I can't eat what a lot of people can eat for breakfast anymore. And also that was sort of like brunch. I was gonna eat that because it was like, well, I'm not gonna eat lunch because I'm gonna be up there and I don't really want to take food, and I want to have energy to teach or whatever. And I don't want to get hungry while I'm gone. And, you know, nothing out of the ordinary, but I was like, let me go get my dog. He was outside. And it was like, I thought when I went outside, I was going to get my energy back and wake up. Like Mother Nature's going to wake me up. I always wake up once I get up and start moving. I was drinking water. I was like, oh, maybe I need to get this food to digest. So I drank some water, and I was like, okay, I just need like 5 more minutes of sleep. And so I went and laid down right here. I was so sleepy. I laid down on my, I don't know if y'all can see it. I laid down on my little mini trampoline. I was like, I can't even go lay down in the bed. I'm just gonna lay here. Then I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna go. Then I came and I set the timer, and then I came and sat in my chair. I was like, I am not sure. Like, why am I so sleepy? 5 more minutes. It's 10:15. No, it's 10:19. and I should have left at 10:15 in order to get there, avoid traffic, get there on time, have a little bit of time before class. I was like, just another 5 more minutes. And then in another 5 minutes, I was just like feeling like I was like in a trance. And I started, well, prior to that, but I hadn't fully noticed it. My ears were ringing so loudly. And I was just like, okay, okay. Now, I remember being here on the trampoline when I was sleeping. I had dreams that were like I was jumping universes. And when I was explaining this to my husband and son, I was like, I know I sound crazy. But I'm telling you, when I was dreaming, it felt like I was moving through universes. And then so, I was like, "Woo," I'm like really dreaming like this is crazy. But I couldn't really process the dreams because I couldn't process the dreams because I was so sleepy. So I'm sitting here, my ears are starting to ring, and I was like, 5 more minutes. And I was like, "Ooh, that's a loud ringing." And I began to it was like, I don't know, what I remember in my mind right now, it seemed like it was like all this yellow, like stardust or whatever. And there were particles, that's what it is, particles that were just flying around. And then I started seeing everything was closing into black. And that's when I said, something's wrong. And I jumped up out of my chair and I said, something's wrong. And I stood up and I asked my body, is something wrong? And my body swayed. When I sway like this, it's yes. My body swayed, yes. And I was just like, I got to go to the hospital. And my son, his room is right outside this door. He wasn't even awake yet. I knocked on his door. I was like, Kamau, something is wrong. I need to go to the hospital. And that's when a dream came back to me that I had back in 2017, which got me deep into astrology. Um, and it was I dreamt that I could see my all the life force energy leaving out of my body. And I died in that dream. And so in my mind, I was like, don't sit down. You've got to get up. You've got to move. And I had my phone with me. And as I walked down the steps, I dialed 911. I was like, I don't want to wait. I know that when people wait, that's when the most destruction happens. When people get seen right away, you know, intervention can happen and it can help the person stay intact. Cause I was like, I want to stay healthy. And that's when I started feeling like, because it was like all this energy through my body. I could just feel just, it was just shock waves, not harsh and hurting me, but it was just like charge all through my body. And I didn't really know what was going on because I felt dizzy and disoriented, and I was talking like this, like the way I was talking was changing. But I did notice right away that my mind was staying lucid. I was like, well, while my mind is lucid, I'm gonna make sure I do this and I do that and I do this. So I told my son, my insurance card is here. And I was on the phone with the lady and I was like saying, this is what's going on. I was like telling everybody as much as I could because I was like, if I black out, I want everybody to have the full story that way, they will know what was happening or whatever. And so the the 911 people, the ambulance came and I was sitting. I just told myself, because I told my son, oh, another thing, this is what petrified me was when I was sitting here, I noticed that my head, it felt like pressure in my head. And let me see here. It was pressure up there, and my scalp was feeling really tender. And it was just like right here. And I might post a picture of me in the hospital, but I don't want to scare people. I'll post it in Mighty Networks. If you're in Mighty Networks, I'll show y'all because y'all know I'm okay. But you'll see me in the picture holding my head right here. All yesterday, this part of my head was hurting. And so I felt all this pressure. And I just kept saying, "On my head," and it felt a little bit like my heart too. And I told my son, "I feel like I'm having a stroke." So the ambulance people came and they got on my nerves. The man, at least, when I got on the truck, he was like, "So you had a bar?" I'm like, "Yeah, I had a bar." I'm down here in Tennessee, so it wasn't nothing but white folks. Look, I was so like, look, as I walked up my house, I was like, "I want to live. I want to live. I want to live. Goddess, 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 help me. Mothers, I'm calling on you. Mothers, be with me. Ancestors, ancestors." I was calling on them all. And I'm so glad I did because I was unfazed by these white people. And y'all know I love everybody, but in Tennessee, to me, until I know you dangerous. I didn't even care. I did not even care. And so they're like, "What's wrong?" Because I walked outside and I was like, "I'm scared I'm gonna fall." So I sat down in my grass and I had explained to them I ate a bar. So "You want to go to the hospital?" "Yeah, I want to go to the hospital. Put me on the truck." So I get on the truck and the man is like, "So you had a bar?" I'm like, "Yeah." He was like, "Was it a weed bar?" I said, "What are you? No. I have not been using drugs. It was a protein bar." And then in my mind, I was like, think about what is the name of the bar? It was a Power Crunch bar. Punk. So let me see here. What else? Yeah, I get to the hospital and it made me say to all the nurses out there, I see why y'all don't want to be a part of this system. The nurses and the people who work with me though were very, very nice. It's a system and folks just got to learn how to work within it. I give thanks for all of these people. They were so nice. They ran the test. So on the ambulance, that he was like, your blood pressure and your pulse are perfect." I was like, "Yeah, I'm not surprised." And that's when I began to think, because I was just staying lucid. I didn't black out. I'm thinking of everything. I'm like, "Well, maybe I'm not gonna die." Even though it does feel like I'm gonna die. I'm terrified. I was panicky. I would get in there. They took me into the room, in the emergency room, and I was like, "Where's my son? I'm so scared. I want my son." I was like, I know these people, and I kept telling them, "I know I sound crazy, but this is not who I am. I don't typically act like this. I don't know what's going on." They checked my head, CT scan and EKG and blood pressure and diabetes and everything. And of course, I checked out perfectly. So they were like, alternate the Tylenol and the ibuprofen, and I give it to the doctor. She was like, "Turkey has tryptophan in it." I'm thinking, it was no tryptophan, baby. I eat turkey every day of my life. This was not tryptophan. But I was like, that was impressive. She kind of spoke to the food. And when I was like, "I think I've been stressed," she was like, "Maybe that's it." I'm like, "Okay, I gotta go. Thank y'all. Y'all did what I needed you to do, and that's to check out my body." So I came home and just started resting. And yesterday, was a good day. It's like I'm a little bit off. I told my husband another thing that happened when I was sitting here on Tuesday was I kept thinking my son was standing in the room with me. And I would look behind and I'm like, "No, the door is closed." And he wasn't even awake. I kept thinking, why do I keep thinking Kamau's standing in the room? Well, yesterday I was on a call and I was like, "Why is this cold water dripping on me right now?" And I was like, "Oh, do we have a leak in the roof?" I looked down on my pants. I'm like, "It's no water. There's no water dripping on me." Why did I think that? I was like, "I don't know what's going on." I don't know what's going on. Today, I noticed when I was getting ready for this that one thing that I'm going to note in my journal is I need to redefine what does it mean to be professional. Number one, for me to be professional it is imperative. I don't like showing up raggedy. For those of y'all who from the Black community, y'all know we have a reputation of sometimes we have to wait on our people, okay? Which it really translates Black folks late on some things, or it's like I want to support Black people, but then people have had bad experiences, and it's like all Black people kind of get labeled, and so I just have been that type of person who is like, I'm gonna be. First of all, it's who I am. Forget my color. Okay. Forget my culture. I'm born to be excellent. I'm born to be professional. But I definitely want to step up and show the this side of being Black. I don't knock people for, being on Africa time. I don't care, whatever. No judgment. That's my people. But for me, being a professional, extremely important. And so it pains me to show up here on this live that I don't charge anybody for, 5 minutes late. I don't care. I'm not perfect. I'm professional. But I did think today that I didn't realize that professionalism for me does have a sub description of perfection. And so I was like, You don't have to be perfect. Show up when you can." Because I started noticing my heart was starting to race and it was feeling tension here. And it's not that anything is wrong, it's just how it's manifesting. The stress is manifesting in my body. And so I was like, I need to change how I think about what is professionalism. But I was like, you have less problems showing up on time when you follow your routines, honey. So it really does go all the way back to you following your routines, Miss Tyra Amilade, the goddess guru. Totally rebirthed. That was a near-death experience for me. I'm so grateful it was easy in terms of my body. I don't have any major anything to come back from. I wanna let all the Libras know, last year, I was watching 2 years prior, I was watching the Capricorns and the Sagittarius, and I was like, "This is nothing to trifle with." So, Libra, you really wanna be getting yourself shored up, okay? Because 'Cause y'all next for this transit. Okay. I've talked so much. I've talked so much. Thank y'all for hearing me. I am complete. Okay. Yes. Make sure you get your drink. I'm drinking out of my Rockstar mug. Hi, Takia. How are you? Blessings. I appreciate y'all for hearing me. Good morning, Ia. Yes, I have figured out I can only be transparent. I don't trying to be anything else at this point is not gonna profit me. And thank you for letting me know that. Always, always, always let me know because I need y'all to let me know these kinds of things. Thank you for sharing. How you're describing overworking resonates. Being self employed, I always judge myself when not working. So even when resting or playing, I hear the critic. Yeah, this is something that we are going to have to redefine in our culture. And part of the remedy for this, is our spiritual practices, is making sure our spiritual practices are designed to notice when that critic is in play and proving to us that we don't have to be working all the time, that rest is part of work, and that we actually do better when we rest and have fun. Good morning, learning. Uh, what's Gemini? I felt extremely light, but in a great way. Good. I'm glad to hear that, Natasha. Okay, so I want to go back and show y'all what I did to pull my chart. So when you come to this page on astro.com, well, let me go back even further. Shoots. Uh, oh my God. Okay. So you want to go to uh, horoscope drawings and data, and you go to extended chart selection. And then you go down to house system. So astrology is not one thing, it's many systems, okay? So you want to use one that makes it super simple. And what I did was, y'all didn't see this, but I pulled up my chart with it being this is called unequal house system, where the houses are not all equal. See, the sign can be a house, or these lines can define where the houses are. And what I had showed y'all earlier that y'all didn't see is my first house uh, and my seventh house. They have three houses. Scorpio, not my first house. Scorpio, the first sign in my chart, has three houses in it alone. And so trying to learn astrology um, with this kind of chart, and the reason my chart is so skewed is that I was born very far north. I was born in Alaska. And so a lot of times people born up north or extremes, very much up north or down south on the planet, their charts are extremely skewed. So um you go here, oh excuse me, you go here and choose whole signs. I also like just putting the nodes, true node and descending, because sometimes when I was new at astrology, I would forget that the descending node was there and didn't even address it, and that's not okay. And so when you choose whole sign, then it's the whole house makes the sign. But what you have to take note of is this ascendant and this MC. Okay. Those are floating degrees. So it just kind of depends on what time it is and where you are in the world will determine those points. They're not set. Um and they are extremely important because this first house, anything happening in my first house is going to let me know, you know, something's about to change. It's an activation. And then anything in my 11th and my fifth house, because that's where my MC is, it's going to let me know when something's going to change. Okay. So yeah, that's where I pull up my chart, astro.com. Yes. Yes, it's easy. Yeah, it was a spiritual reset, as easy. Yes, that's exactly how I see it. You want me to tell you, I didn't even think about that until I was just talking to y'all when I saw what was going on. Was that Tuesday? It says the universe images are interesting given release of NASA's new images. They generate so much energy. I did not even know that happened, but I was sitting in the hospital and that's when my son told me about these new pictures that had come out. He showed me some different ones, but yesterday, one of my friends mentioned the one that shows the little universes. So I'm like, I don't know if it was that also. It was really kind of bizarre. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So yes, that's what I'll share with you all. And so let's go on ahead and look at what's going on this week. Mm, what's today? Okay. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to look at this full moon. Mystic Storm had mentioned the full moon. I have to blow this up and see. Um, I want to go to the meaning of this full moon. Mm, I think this is a really good one. What needs releasing in order for you to achieve the success that you desire? Because that full moon included Pluto. Well, includes Pluto because we're still in the full moon energy, actually. It includes Pluto, and Pluto is definitely about releasing and transformation. Um, these are the themes that I got from this moon: success, also the mindset, because the chart of the moon was it was happening. Let's just say it has something to do with the mind. I'm not going to use a lot of astrologies, but it has something to do with the mind and the mindset. Um, something being brought to light regarding your mindset or your mental health, or your nervous system, because you can relate this also to the nervous system. So, That's why I was like, yeah, I'm one of the ones that's like a really good reflection of this full moon. Structure and planning, lifestyle. This moon had to do with lifestyle. It had to do with day-to-day routines and operation. So is that coming up for anybody? How is this looking for you? So y'all know I had my birth, death, rebirth. I remember seeing that. I was like, ooh, Pluto's there? Okay, birth, death, rebirth. I see you. Transformation, mm, empowerment. And I don't exactly remember because I did this last Saturday, but it was something with values in there. Um, what are your values? And, are you living according to your values? Are you compromising your values? The thing that I always say about values is you're going to do what you value. And so if you're not doing things so, Capricorn is about success, it's about structure and planning. If you're not doing things that help you, if you're not valuing whatever it is you want success in, or whatever the structures and the plans that you've come up with, if you don't value them, you're not going to do them. So you may realize, oh, I actually don't value this. And so I need to shift my values so that it goes in the direction of what you want. And Capricorn is what I mentioned earlier. So I don't remember what was in the moon that made me say that, but that was specific to that moon. Um, let's see here. Purging and transformation. Is that coming up for anybody? And it's also about what cycle needs completing. How do you keep up with your cycles? I'm very curious about that. How do you keep up with your cycles? So another thing is blessings of liberation. This is specific to this moon. Um, do you need to be liberated from something, or did you find you've been liberated from something? I tell you what, I hadn't had a bar since. I'm like, I don't know. I have a mind block now for those bars, and I'm okay with it. What do you need to get real about? Did that moon bring something up for you about that? How are you doing with your boundaries? And where are you stuck? So this moon can help you get unstuck. I hope that y'all are putting things in the comments. If you can think of something, make yourself go within. Whenever I share things like this, force yourself to get an answer. Even if it's 2 words, force yourself to get the answer. Because a lot of times we are walking around here not answering whatever that question is. And so we feel confused, or we feel uncertain. We don't take action. So you want to really force yourself to answer. And if you're like, where are you stuck? And you're like, I don't feel stuck, then that's an answer. Okay. How are you doing with your boundaries? I'm doing great. But if you're like, how am I doing with my boundaries? I don't know how I'm doing. Force yourself to get an answer. Either you're doing well, or you can see an area of growth in terms of boundaries. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah. So that's what I have there. And I'm gonna, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Let me see here. Uh, Fear needs to be released. So then the next step you want to do, Natasha, is ask yourself, what what are you going to do to release fear? And I am going to take an opportunity to just remind y'all that I would love for y'all to work with me so I can assist y'all with, having the tools that will help y'all with doing things like releasing fear, and join me in the retreat. It's $11 off right now. But one of the things that we do in the retreat is I make sure I take that time to help y'all. I'm trying to get rid of this. Anyway, help y'all to release and let go. This is why we have to retreat, to reset month after month after month. And so we're now, well, tomorrow we'll be in the waning moon phase. So definitely take that time to release and to let go. This new moon retreat is another opportunity for you to begin to help you to reset yourself. So release fear. Oh, and you know what? Mm, I'm definitely going to include releasing fear work in this moon because the Leo new moon is about having courage. Okay. So yeah, there are some things that we can do to release fear. Got it. Um, so let's see here. What else do we have? Okay. The moon is trying to get me to break out of my current fog. It's working. Nice. And to have fun doing it. It's interesting because um there was something special in this moon that has to do with Leo, which has to do with fun. Um, I will say in that particular case, it's more about shining. So I do think that this full moon can help us to see where we not shining, where we not showing up full out in life. Good morning, Furious. Um, okay. In transitions, working on moving to my new home. Azizi, text me your address. I don't think I can eat these bars. Um, well, when it comes to cycles, you got to understand what are the cycles. You're always in a cycle. If from one birthday to the next, you're in a cycle. Even if you don't know anything about the moon, we're all in the moon cycle. So you just want to understand which one are you working with. Let me see here. Get real, honest with vision for consulting practice. Okay. Very, very nice. And I'm going to tell you, Ia, it's important to do that because we're going into this new moon um in Leo. So this full moon and this waning phase is such an opportunity. This is so interesting. I don't understand how the transits work in my chart. I honestly recommend number 1, stick with me because I talk about things regularly. But honestly, if you don't know anything about astrology, you do have to maybe get a reading. Hopefully I've taught so much, like I have a lunar course. If you go to my website and go to the place where you can look at all the courses that I offer, I have a class that's about the moon because my goal is to help y'all understand, at the very least, how do you use the moon? And you can begin to understand how you do it with your chart. You do have to take classes. You do kind of have to invest in learning this. But yeah, Cindy, accepting my journey with a different scope. Greetings and blessings. Greetings. Greetings. Glad the moon is shown on a lot. Good. Okay, so next let's look at the astrology for this week. So we had our full moon in Capricorn. We also have Venus. Let me ever since I cleared my cache, my life is just it's rough. Astrology. Oh, there we go. Today's current. Oh my gosh. So Venus was okay. Venus was square Neptune. So Venus from Gemini squared Neptune in Pisces. It could be a lot of misinformation. No, wait a minute. Yeah, maybe misinformation, or maybe we're not seeing things clearly about our relationships. Um, Venus square. Yeah, it could be there were some relationship issues that day. Venus has to do with self-care, values, balance. So, maybe, these last few days we felt out of balance. And especially if you're Libra, Or Taurus, you could feel out of balance, or have planets, a lot of planets in those signs. You could feel a little bit out of balance. Because Neptune creates a fog, but definitely you want to make sure you don't get scammed. If people trying to scam you, don't let them scam you, okay? Because anytime we have mutable energy, mutable or Gemini and Pisces are mutable, they're changeable. They That's what mutable means. It's like you're a little bit of this. It's sort of like shape shifting energy. I'll put it that way. So with shape shifting energy, you have to be cautious of um, people trying to scam you. Maybe somebody's trying to get over you over. Maybe somebody's trying to get something over you when it comes to relationships. But also the thing, it also could be too. You're missing seeing. Maybe you're looking through, like, rose-colored glasses at something, but it could be very creative. Maybe you get upset and you just create something that's super beautiful because it's not a harmonious, um, ch aspect. Uh, um, okay, and then Sun square Mercury. Oh, square conjunct Mercury. I'm like, "What?" Sun conjunct Mercury. So, Sun conjunct Mercury. Okay, so that's a new beginning, a new Mercury beginning. So it's sort of like what I think is important for us to do is, and I know it sounds so cliche, but I want y'all to know that we have started a new this whole year is about self-care. Everything I pulled in the yearly reading has to do with self-care. It also has to do with completion. So some of our self-care stems from we started something but we didn't finish it. And so it just lingers back there in our mind. And so the sun and Mercury are conjuncting in Cancer, which has to do with care. It has to do with emotions. It has to do with family also. So it could be this is an opportunity for us to reset ourselves and set some new intentions, have a fresh new start with how we're going to take care of our minds. What is it that we want to do to reconnect with our family? Do we need to do something like, are there some ideas that you've had regarding your home? Some of us might need to maybe launch our Airbnb business. It also might be a good time to go on vacation or holiday where, you go to the ocean or something like that because, Cancer is the ocean. It also might be a good time for you to set intentions around um your intuition, your ability to trust your intuition and to combine it. Because my thing is it's important to combine your intuition with your logic. We need both. And one of the things that I'm learning, I'm going through another certification actually, um, that is helping me learn how to be a transformational feminine leader. I know I sound like a commercial, but it is something to cultivate. Being a feminine leader is not something you just show up and do. Anywho, so one thing that I'm learning, which I knew this, but I'm just getting a refresher and a new way of looking at this is we always want to be understanding like when do I bring in the feminine side and when do I bring in the masculine side? We want to understand how they operate. And that's how I see this. Mars conjunct the sun. And also, let me tell y'all something about Mars conjunct the sun. Okay. So Mars conjunct the sun is with this combining the intuition with the logic. That is what I see this as being an opportunity to know how to use both. But the other thing I was going to say about that is whenever the sun is conjunct something, that means they're sitting like on the same chair. Imagine I had a baby sitting on my lap. That's me conjunct the baby. Hey, Fallon, welcome. And so um when the sun conjuncts a planet, it becomes the sun is infusing that planet with new inspiration. Remember, this is one of the reasons why I love Leo season, because Leo is about inspiration, right? And so the moon is conjuncting Mercury and giving it all kinds of new ideas. So I want to say from tomorrow, Saturday, and for sure Sunday, that would be a good time to see, are new ideas coming to you? Are you receiving some new inspiration regarding what is Cancer? Home, family, ancestors, um, emotions, intuition. Maybe you've been struggling with food or your digestive system, your gut, something like that. So new ideas for those parts of your body. Maybe something, some new thoughts about taking care of your breast health or just all your womanly parts. Um, Actually, Cancer is a sign that has to do with cars. So you might get some new ideas regarding transportation for yourself. Okay. Okay. Thank you. I hope you do. I really do hope you take some of my classes. I pour my heart, soul, and being into these classes and do my best to make them understandable, because one day I'm gonna be gone, and I'm hoping and praying that my kids will keep my websites going, or at least put everything that I've created now out for free, so that y'all don't, or the generations who come behind me don't have to. It does not have to be hard for them. I am in charge of discovering lost ancient wisdom and helping y'all to understand how to make it relevant to now. So let's see what Azizi received. I just received this message. Azizi, we right there. That's exactly how I feel. Continue with, oh, me? Continue with lives or continue with your lives. Be consistent, finding your own voice. It is valuable and helpful. Is this for me, Azizi, or is this for everybody? Because that is all on my toes. Mars and Leo. Yes. You could even go to something, Takia, like first of all, I would love it if you got a reading with me and I can explain to you specifically what this means and help you to apply it. But if you want a free resource, my favorite one is Cafe Astrology. I love that website. You can go on there. They have this free thing that you can look at, and it gives you a little bit more understanding. And you will she's right. That's a very powerful placement. Mars loves being in Leo, but you'll be like, oh yeah, I do get that. But what I used to do with the free reports is I would say, okay, well, what am I supposed to do with it? It makes sense, but what I'm supposed to do, what I'm supposed to do. Okay, let's see here. Well, we are a little bit in the same shoes, Aziz. We're twinning it on that message. I'm happy you got that message, Azizi. Yes. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm really excited about Sun conjunct Mercury. It's interesting. The more I talk astrology, the more I'm like, oh my God, I never thought about it like that. Okay, so another thing that I love about, okay, so I'm gonna tell y'all one other thing too, and I am being very serious. Okay, we can look at it as me just selling, but I'm sharing, like, I get ideas as to why it's important for y'all to come. Okay, I got to go back over here and look. Oh, yes, I remember now. So, another reason I want y'all to come to the workshop, every workshop this year, and I'm actually going to create an offer where you can get all of them discounted, but I don't have that today done yet. So, another reason I would love for y'all to come to this is because of this. And I'm so serious. I think another reason I had that episode that I had on Tuesday, besides being rebirth, is thinking about the astrology. It's stressful. I don't, for the ones who were here with me during 2020, y'all remember how I was just like, this is not a fun time to be somebody who's sharing astrology. I hate bringing bad news. But what I became crystal clear about was, number one, coming together. To me, that is one of, it sounds so cliche in a world that misuses these terms. Better together, knowing damn well half these people out here are not really trying to come together, right? It's come together only if you think like me. But part of the ancient way for women is our power was in numbers. Our power was in being a part of a feminine pack, not being a lone wolf. There are the times, like right now, nobody can walk my path but me. Nobody can walk your path but you. That is the lone wolf part of our path. Nobody can do the work that I'm born to do. No matter who shows up on my lives, who buys or doesn't buy, it is on me that before I die. I am the only one that can walk this path. But let me tell you, the path is so much easier when we are together. And so I remember feeling like, when I was ending my membership at the top of this year, I was like, baby, because I felt like a failure. I felt like I did not do a good job. This membership did not turn out to be what I thought it was going to be. But then I thought, but you know what? And I remember Ocean Funke said this, maybe y'all needed me for 2020 and 2021. Those were two hella hard years. And I was like, if the reason I did that membership was to hold the few little ladies that were in my circle, and then those of y'all who showed up here on my lives, to hold y'all, to help us make it through that time, then it was worth it. I'm okay with that. And when I think back on that, to me, that's the work that these new moon retreats are about. Because when I tell y'all the path that lies before us, and I'm not being hyperbolic, y'all remember, if you were listening to me in like 2018 and 2019, I told y'all 2020 is gonna be rough, right? So I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm telling y'all the truth. We already see it feels uncertain. The certainty is there is the one great divine. There's the one great divine. And that is where I'm digging deep into. And we want to stick together. But these are about me doing my part to make sure you have yourself shored up for what is to come. Because we got to get through 2022. And I told you I didn't think 2022. Once I started looking at the astrology, I was like, I'm actually not excited. It's not like 2020. It's actually kind of sort of on the level of 2021, just with different aspects that are happening. But I told my inner circle, I'm not exactly happy, but I was feeling like I was sounding like a negative Nancy. So, which negative Nancy, you're welcome to come to the table, baby, because sometimes folks need to hear from you. But I'm telling y'all right now, 2023, I think is going to be a hell of a year because Pluto is moving into a new sign. And the same month, Saturn is moving over into a new sign. And so when those slow planets are moving into a new sign, it's setting up, Saturn is setting up a new cycle for, it stays in the sign for about 2.5 years. So it's going to move into Pisces. Pluto has been in Capricorn, I think, since like 2007, 2008. I wasn't into astrology, so I don't remember the numbers back then. But that's how long Pluto's been in Capricorn. When Pluto moved into Capricorn, that is when we had the 2007, 2008 crash of our economy around the world. Like I thought it was here. No, it was around the world. So Pluto moving into Aquarius, and it's going to come back into Capricorn for a little while. I don't know the exact dates, but it's moving into Aquarius in March. Saturn moves into um, Pisces in March. That's a lot. But make no mistake about it, y'all. We moving into the age of Aquarius. Okay. I keep trying to tell y'all we need to be making sure we got some online currency, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, let me get back to the astrology for this week. Um, these are designed to help you get yourself shored up so that you're not thrown. Okay. You were born for such a time as this. So you want to be like, it's like putting currency in your spiritual checking account, savings account. You want to get it, you want to have like a lot stored up inside of you. The other reason is, yeah, we're going to see a lot of craziness going on, but I'm telling y'all, it's a lot of opportunity when that planet moves into. I can't wait. Like, I am scared, but I sort of am ready because Aquarius is about, I mean, yeah, it's about freedom and liberation, and it's the sign of the people. And so, it's been in Capricorn, the sign of government. And, Capricorn, I love Capricorns. I'm not talking about you, but the sign of Capricorn, it's sort of a sign of oppression, sort of, because it's about regulations. You do this and you don't do that, and you can't do this and you can't do that. This is why we're seeing a lot of what's happening because, Pluto is in these last degrees. So it's just like we getting ready to just go full out because I don't know. Y'all won't see me back here again in your lifetime after this transit. So I got to do everything I can to just like bring it all home, baby. Bring it all to home. It's like that last when women are in transition and about to go from pushing, from the door opening contractions to the pushing contractions, feels all crazy. That's the last few degrees of a sign. So Pluto is just like, it's just like, we're going to blow this whole thing up. And then I'm going to go on over here in the Aquarius and see what they're doing over there. As y'all can see, I am really personifying these planets. Um, so it's a lot of opportunity. And I want you to have yourself so that you are so spiritually strong. You have so many great spiritual routines. You're so spiritually filled up that you can weather the, I don't know. I just feel like it's like when we are in our cars and hail is hitting the cars, it's hitting our car. You can weather that. Like you can weather the hits and but also see the opportunities. But also see the opportunities and be able to take advantage of them. This is the beauty of the spiritual practice. Okay. So I love that Mercury is going to trine Neptune and the sun is going to trine Neptune right around the same time they're conjuncting. So I see this as this upcoming weekend. Take a lot of time to heal, do a lot of healing work. Um, Open yourself to your intuition. If you're afraid of your intuition, just know it's going to be high and you can trust it. Um, yeah, this might be a weekend where we just feel like we want to get away, we want to work, or we feel extremely creative. Um, yeah. Okay. I think I'm going to stop with that. I think I'm going to end with that one. Let me. Oh, last few days have been challenging. I feel so much better now. This is why I do what I do. When I see things like this is what I want to hear. You are so welcome, Sister. You are so welcome, Azizi. Okay. Ah, thank you. Awesome. I am here when you need a reading, and anyone who's gotten a reading with me knows I go all in, all in. That's another thing that I just told myself I'm not gonna try to change how all in I am with people. I'm an all in kind of gal. When I decide I'm gonna do something to help somebody, you know, I go all the way, baby, all the way. So before we get off, let's just take a few moments to just do a little breath work. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all why I chose this particular mindfulness practice is because we definitely want to start noticing our breath. Okay. We want to notice, are we doing deep breathing? Um, is our breath too shallow? We want to be more intentional about our breath. Maybe I'll bring Krista on here again, my friend and priestess sister, because she's very much into breath work and she could talk about it much better than I can. But we definitely need to understand the difference in like the inhale and the exhale. So just know that when you're anxious or angry, you may find your breath is shallow and rapid, but it doesn't even matter. We want to adopt what it feels like when we're resting, because we definitely want to always be invoking our parasympathetic nervous system. Because just think about it, when you're resting, your breath slows down and it's often deeper. Okay. So the relationship between the breath, the body, and the mind goes both ways. And so by breathing more deeply, you're telling your nervous system that you are safe. When you're not breathing deeply, you're telling your nervous system you are perhaps not safe. Okay. Ooh, okay. So, what we're going to do is engage the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for feelings of safety, relaxation, and ease. And so, I'm going to show you this today so that you can use it anytime. And just know that it works extremely well when you're experiencing anxiety, anger, or any other emotion that increases your heart rate. So what I want you to do is just to bring the breath into your awareness. And you can just go on ahead and close your eyes or drop your gaze to limit visual distractions. And as you bring awareness to your breath, just choose one place in the body to focus on. It could be the abdomen or the chest. They work well for this exercise. And so we're just going to take a few moments and just breathe in for 3 seconds and breathe out for 4. Okay. And just count it in your head. In for 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Just keep going. Count it in your minds. Remember, in for 3, exhale for 4. And so now, inhale to a count of 4, exhale to a count of 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep going. Okay, we're going to lengthen the breath. Breathe in for 5, breathe out for 7. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you want to also keep your attention on the sensation in your body as you breathe. And if you can lengthen the breath even more, go ahead, or just stick with 5 and 7. Make sure you don't strain. Just encourage yourself to breathe more deeply. All righty. Just a couple of more. And when you are ready, just take a few deep breaths at your own pace. Wiggling your fingers and toes if you're ultra relaxed like me. Okay. And come back to the now moment. I hope that. Woo. See, they didn't tell me to breathe the other day. I will say, they were like, "It's okay. I'm here. I got you." Even the little guy on the truck who asked me, did I have a weed bar? Even he said, "I got you. It's okay." Yes, please do. Please do. I would love to have you learning. Yes, listen to your intuition. So many times we don't listen to our intuition. But when we start doing that deep breathing, baby, our intuition is like, it's like, oh yeah, is that what you sound supposed to do? Okay. Um, there's a book that I'm reading as a part of this feminine leadership certification that I'm in. And what this man talked about was he was trying to heal from having a lot of pain. And he's from Australia, but he came and found his solution here in the United States with the Native Americans. But he was saying, at some point you get to a place where you can't use plant medicine. You can't just keep using plant medicine to get results. You have to figure out how to create this in your life. Um, and so to me, that's what the breath is like. It's like, okay. Well, I've never actually used plant medicine. I'm a Pisces, and Pisces have the propensity for addiction. And therefore, anything that could potentially be addictive, Pisces is about like escaping. No, this is why I don't drink. I don't use drugs. Forget that. I might stay in those worlds, baby. And I'm just not going to do it. So for me, doing things like breath work, it just causes me to trance out and, it's so many of us is looking for those answers. It's really important to do things like the breath work so that we can bring in, when we bring online that parasympathetic system, that's really helping us to align with that feminine energy so that we'll be able to understand how do we move forward. That's something I want to help you all cultivate, is to trust that intuition. Make it like what you lead with in your life. We are women. We are imbued with intuition. We want to lead with it. It is so easy for us, even for those who have a lot of fire or a lot of earth. You are imbued with it. It's who we are. If you're born in a feminine body, you can do this. You just have to learn how to trust it. And so, one of the ways we do that, and then it informs us what to do. And I'm going to tell y'all decisions I've made in the past where I'm like, I just feel like this is what I'm supposed to do. I just feel it. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna pay for it, which is what happened with this feminine leadership thing that came up. I was like, "I signed up for what? I did not cost this much. Oh my god." But I just said, "Universe will make a way. Universe will help me figure out how to get it." It always shows up. And my godmother used to teach us that whenever Ia Ocean Funke, is anybody else on here? Azizi, maybe even Eileen. When I think about these initiations that I've done into the priesthood, especially in the Ifa. And I even remember Iyanla saying this. Iyanla needed to take a workshop years ago. This is when she was producing these early books of hers. And she needed to take the class. And she told her teacher, I don't have the money. I'm not saying anybody here doesn't have the money. I'm not saying that at all. Um, but she was like, um, I don't have the money. And her teacher was like, If you really want to do this, you're going to open yourself up to find a way to get the money. The universe will show you where the money is going to come from. I don't know where it came from. Maybe they're doing a reading or somebody owed her some money or something like that. But it's really more about me talking about the importance of trusting your gut. When your gut tells you to do something you should do it, especially when it comes to healing. You can't even put a value on getting your mind, just like what Azizi talked about. Okay, I feel better. Now she feels better in her soul. She can go on about her day, get some stuff done. But what happens is our minds torment us. That's what I think on a subconscious level is like right below the level of perception. My thoughts were tormenting me. And I even remember thinking there's these things called jinn in the Islamic tradition, but in Ifa we call them Ajogun. Okay, not to be confused with the Ajagun. Ajogun. It's these entities in the universe. And I just say it's like being in a video game. In video games, the gamer's not crying about all the obstacles that get thrown their way, all the little fire breathing things and all the stuff that's coming after them. They don't cry about it. They're just like, oh, this is a challenge. So these things I have accepted. They are part of reality. They help us to get uncomfortable so that we will wake up to the divinity within. But um you know, if we aren't aware, if we're really operating from our physical self, then it's like these things become tormentors. And that's what it felt like. My thoughts were tormenting me, though I was not fully aware of it. And so, when we take this time to do spirituality, there is no amount of money somebody can put on. Well, I was able to get peace today. You can't put money on that. So whenever your intuition is leading you to do something that is spiritual, that is healing to your body, that is healing to your emotions, to your mind, to your soul, to your life, run towards it. If you can afford it, if you can do it, breath work is free. I just led us through breath work. You can go find breath work everywhere, even though, again, there is something about doing things in community. You know why? Because this is what we were born to be, in community. But you don't need that. There is the lone wolf part of our journey. When you wake up in the morning, you're not waking up in community. Even if you're waking up with somebody in the bed with you, you still got to decide to do your spiritual work. Turn on something. I do it all the time. I'm like, I need a mindfulness practice. I'm just going to find one. Maybe download an app or something. I don't know. I have a playlist of mindfulness, practices that I've put together for you all. If you go to my YouTube playlist section, but it doesn't cost anything, and you will find your peace there. Right. So we want to be doing these things that allow us to feel safe, that allow us to feel empowered and help us to feel healed up. Because guess what? When hard times come, they don't take us on further down. Our spiritual immunity is high. This is what we want. We want our spiritual, emotional, mental, physical immunities high. And you have to find these opportunities to do that. Of course, I'm offering it through this mini retreat that I'm doing. Of course, I have readings, which I live for readings. This is my superpower is readings and sharing wisdom and inspiration. And whatever else is out there. Do you have an oracle deck that you pull from every day? Who has an oracle deck and you ain't pulling from it every day? I used to feel bad. People would make me feel bad for being so hardcore about my spiritual work. I don't care no more because my message is to get everybody lit, to get us motivated, activated, have passion for our spiritual tools, our spiritual routines. So if you have an oracle deck and you are not pulling from that oracle deck every day, tell yourself, I am gonna pull from this oracle deck every day. It will help to keep all immunities in you high, to get a word from your oracle. Okay. I don't care. Maybe you have African goddess rising. Don't matter. Maybe you have mythical goddess. Maybe you have an affirmation deck. Yeah, that's an affirmation deck. I don't know what this is. Maybe you have the Starseed Oracle. I don't care. What lights you up when you use it? Okay, what lights you up? Pull from it. Okay, we definitely have to do these things to help ourselves. You know, we have to do these things every day. These are the things that people will say poo poo to. You better get in action. You better, we are constantly told, ignite the masculine, do. No, we got to do these kinds of things. This is our superpowers, women. Okay, let me see here. Absolutely. Without you and the community, 2020 would have been really challenging. I stayed grounded. Right there with y'all. I appreciate you, Azizi. Oh man, I went back. Okay, let's see here. I don't know if I pulled that up, but thank you, Azizi. Uh, Spirit always opens the way. I didn't have it for initiation. Okay, there we go. I didn't have it for initiation, and Spirit guided me to my book, and my mom's friend showed up. See, I did the exact same thing. I need extra money for a trip and to move. Open to Spirit to make a way. It is so, Azizi. It is so. Yes. Okay. So thank y'all so much for being here. And yeah, next week I should be back on Wednesday. I should be. I might move this to no, I'm not gonna move it to Thursday. I'm gonna leave it on Monday. I was thinking about moving it to Thursday because that's when my training is on Wednesday morning, but yeah, we'll do Wednesday. So thank you all so much for being here. I have enjoyed this as usual. Y'all the real MVPs. We can go long and we can go strong. I always get in awe because I feel like I don't experience time when I'm here. I know I'm watching the time, but I don't exactly feel like I'm experiencing time when I'm here. So I hope that this has been valuable. You've gotten something from it. I would love to hear from y'all. Let's go ahead and stitch out. I know we didn't stitch in, but let's stitch out. What are you taking with you today? I am taking clarity. I feel like I had a mystical experience the other day. Thank you. You're so welcome, Azizi. Thank you for being here as always, Queen. What are you taking with you today? I am Tirra and I'm taking clarity. Post in the comments, what are you taking from today's gathering? I would love to hear from you. And while I'm waiting for you all to type it in, okay, thank you, Azizi. I am taking calm. Eileen, I'm taking empowerment. Thank you, Iya. I am Ocean Funke, and I'm taking away slowing down. It just makes me so happy. This is why I do this work. This is what I want for you all. Good late afternoon from where I am. Take care, Furious. I am Natasha, and I'm taking with me peace. I give thanks. I appreciate you all so much. And I wish y'all a wonderful rest of the week. And hopefully y'all will see me again, because I want to talk about these books. I don't think I'm going to have to split these up, because today was a special edition to talk about my mystical panic attack experience. But I want to talk about What the Bleep Do We Know? Not the What the Bleep Do We Know? A Pocket Full of Money. It sounds like it's about money, but it's more so about metaphysics, which is because of metaphysics that I can often talk myself off a ledge of feeling nervous about what's going on. So, anywho, thank y'all again so much. See y'all next week. Peace and goddess blessings be upon you all. Beehive, baby. That's right, Eileen. Thank you.